Hey guys, it's Molly. Welcome to Serious Laughs. What following your dreams really looks like.
Hi guys, I'm Sheri, and I am here with Molly, and we do not have Depends on, but that's okay because we happen to have the amazing, entertaining Justin Bowers here with Captiv Studios. Thank you for allowing us the unsolicited invitation to your studio.
Thank you for letting me be on your podcast.
Yeah, and that literally is how it went down. We said, hey, we have a podcast. We hear you have a podcast studio.
Yeah.
Can we talk to you in your studio?
With no other
Note,
questions,
he's not
I said,
under
yes.
duress.
He did.
He's not under duress.
No.
And he's not wearing Depends.
Oh my God, he's too young for that. Justin, hi.
Hello.
Welcome to your studio.
Yeah, thank you for coming.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah.
Molly, did you have a question?
Yeah, well, okay, so we're here in your studio, and thanks again for hosting. Please tell us about Captiv.
Yeah, so Captiv is it's a video production company. It's a studio. We started in 2013, and I created this company just to create whatever for businesses. And when I say whatever, that means can be launching, rocks onto the side of boots, or filming something underwater, or moving cameras extremely fast, or putting something on fire, or capturing a moment that's really beautiful or breathtaking, capturing moments in time and history, so creating whatever for whatever anybody wants to come and ask me to create for them.
That's phenomenal. How did you get started with, the full manifestation of Captiv Studios here in Houston? But how did that originate for you?
A lot of yeses and just I'm willing to do it, right? I like to be an idea guy. So people come up to me like, hey, can you make a video? And I'm like, what do you do? So just coming up with ideas, and then an idea guy.
And letting it happen.
Let it happen.
Because you started skateboarding. You had a skateboarding shop?
I owned a skateboard company. I manufactured surfboards, skateboards, and longboards, and some apparel. When I was like 17, 18 years old until I was like 20 or so.
And you started creating videos for that company?
Yes. So all my athletes had to create videos to get skateboards and get their merchandise.
Oh, okay. And then it just blossomed from there.
Yep.
Oh, I love this.
I had to basically show some of my athletes that if I can create a video of me skateboarding and you should be able to do this because you're obviously much better than me because I picked you to skateboard for me. And so I made a couple of videos, and one of them went viral, and then that kind of propelled me into making more videos because I got a job from that one, and took me into event coordinating in a whole nother rabbit hole from there. So,
What's amazing is your passion is palpable, and it's creating this magnetism towards you. We heard it through the grapevine that you recently had someone who needed to shoot by the Capitol or in D.C.
Yeah.
And then how did that? Tell us about that. Yeah.
So we landed a project with Stellantis, through an agency, and they wanted us to go to Washington, D.C., and it started snowing, and they were like, well, this piece is not supposed to be snowing in it, and so we said, well, let's do this virtually. And they were like, well, how can we do that? We need to have the monument in the background. Like, this is not possible, And, we just, within like 48 hours, we were able to create these environments and show them and be like, oh, hey, look, this is really doable. And so we got to film Chrysler in our studio with the Washington Monument in the background. So.
And you do this because, and I was telling Sheri earlier when I did the walkthrough that, yes, when I go and we shoot something, it's like I expect a set, right? You have the actual set there with the props and all this, but you have this huge freaking, I've never seen it before. And you described it so eloquently, it just went right over my head. You have this huge digital screen in there, which is where you created the National Monument. Mm-hmm. And then you were able to do that instead of flying everybody out there. It actually ended up, do you feel like it ended up being just as good or if not better than?
I'm able to pick the time of day. They were like, hey, can we make it like a pinkish golden hour, right? And to be able to capture that moment in that time frame and have the monument in the exact placement, I'm able to tell the story exactly the way they want it. And that way it's like, okay, we flew out to Washington, D.C., it's a rainy day.
Right.
So we are stuck with the product that we're ultimately flew out there to do. And, we just say, hey, Isaiah, let's just move the sun a little bit further and let's add a little bit more pink clouds. Our talent needs to use the bathroom, so we need 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And if that was the case, 10 minutes is over and the clouds are gone.
Exactly.
So
Everything's changed.
Yeah,
They've
everything's
changed the
changed.
lighting
yeah,
now.
Exactly. So we're able to do it at our own speed and really like perfect the shot.
So it looks better. And let's be honest, this is anathema to that saying, you get what you pay for. Actually, you save production companies lots of money. They don't have to buy plane tickets to fly
Hotels,
to DC, hotels, the food, all the
transportation,
accommodations.
all the accommodations. They definitely saved money. They definitely saved money on that project.
And yet the quality is better.
Yes. Yeah. They got to be very precise with what they wanted. I actually wanted blue skies, but they wanted pink and yellow, so I gave them pink and yellow,
You're such a good God.
Yeah.
So benign.
So
benevolent.
nice.
Clear skies. Okay, here you go.
How does it work when you are working with a company that wants you to create something for them? Is it like they put all their trust in you and they say, hey, this is what we're selling, give us something, or they come in with ideas, you work together? What's the process generally?
We can be, I like to say we fit where we fit. So like large agencies will come to us and they'll bring us the big product shoots where they're like, hey, here's the storyboards, here's the shots. We just need the production crew to execute it. And I look down the list and I'm saying, these are all the tools and the equipment and the things that we need to have to execute each one of these shots, and then we do it. And then there's other jobs where it's like, hey, we have a brand come directly to us and they'll say, hey, we have a spot on Times Square and we want you to figure out what the spot is.
That actually happened to you, didn't it?
It's happening right now, yeah.
Oh, that's exciting.
We're in the process of coming up with an idea that's going to be playing in Times Square. I presented the idea. They said they loved it. 24 hours later, they ripped it apart and said, we're gonna do your idea but different. And it's ultimately not my idea, but it's still great. It's still going to be on there. We're still going to give them exactly what they want. But I got their brains moving and thinking. They're like, oh, this is really good. Like, just like, I like getting those brain storms going.
Yeah, that's exciting. And then what does it look like if, say, a production company is coming in? Are they able to book out the space for a week, a day? How does that work?
Yeah,
with y'all?
you can rent it for like a half day. You can rent it for a week. You can rent it for a month. I think our longest has been like 10 days or so.
Okay.
But yeah, it's all kind of like as you need. If you need just one room, you can do that. If you need a part of the building, you can do that. If you want to take over the whole building, you can do that. We've had jobs where there was like such high security in the building, they didn't even want us in here except myself. So like there's like security on every window and every side of the building because they were documenting high sensitive information.
Oh, geez.
So it's kind of like as you need. So you can be super high security or low stakes, and you just need a little white wall. So
Sweet.
Every day you get to be a kid.
yeah,
You get to create.
I'm in my own little Disneyland over here.
Oh my God. And I love the origin that I heard about just through the grapevine. And your story begins when you're a kid, you loved telling stories. But then tell us about your childhood and how that kind of came out. I want you to have the
when I was a
spotlight.
kid, I mean, to this day, I'm dyslexic. So reading and writing has never been my strength. But I found that I love stories. I love movies. I love listening and absorbing things. So my grandma got me into like listening to audiobooks. Before like all the audiobooks would actually be out, she'd read them to me on tape and I'd listen to them. So early, I got to listen to all the Harry Potter books and I was just like so consumed with it. And I just always loved stories. So and now I get to tell stories with videos. So yeah.
Yeah, and you're doing it for other people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get to take other people's stories and just create whatever they want, right?
So how did you come up with Captiv, the name of your company?
So I I was leaving my one company that I was working for, Yaga's Entertainment, as an event coordinator, and both my cousins, which we were pretty close growing up, we lived in different areas, but I told them that I wanted to start a video production with them. So Max, who lived in Arizona, graduated at top of his class, moved to Texas. Sam was going to U of H, and he hadn't finished. So we were like, we're gonna wait for you. We'll just start the thing and go. So we started filming weddings, and just kind of like grassroots, like cousins getting together and trying to sell anything and everything we could, from photo shoots to virtual production, which then turned into like getting a deal with Google Maps, then getting a deal with Grubhub, then getting a deal with Uber Eats, and then and growing our business to start taking, rather than from photos, lots of videos. Then we started doing clients with Academy Sports and Outdoors, and then larger companies like Capital One, and it just kept being from relationships and just wanting to tell fun stories and really not saying no. I can make that happen.
Right. Figuring it out.
Yeah, figure it out. Yeah, problem solving.
Okay, so then now, what's your favorite thing, or what's your favorite part about having Captiv?
You asked me this question earlier, and it might even be different than it was before.
Juicy.
So I don't know.
We're taking a
I
turn.
think my favorite thing is that really every day is a new day.
Yeah.
We can create something new every single day. So today we're filming and photographing. Doing some photogrammetry of like some shoes. Last week we were doing some robotics where we were filming a pair of shoes, and you would think that's like the same, but they're different, right? And we get totally unique products from it. One of them just happened to be for Nike, and this other one is for a different client. So we're just able to create something new every day, right? I like to think when I'm sleeping, there's somebody else doing something that's really creative, and they're passing us up. And I'm already behind. We're in Texas, so New York and California, they already have this technology that we've been using, and I'm using right now for a couple of years. So I'm like behind. I'm like, I can't sleep. We need to be creating more, right?
Well,
I need to be
speaking
sharing.
of which, do you feel it's starting to change, that we're turning a corner, and that the New York and West Coast California market for everything media related?
Yeah, I think it's less about where you are, and how you do it, right? Because you can be anywhere. Like you could be in New York tomorrow, right? So you can be here in Houston. We have access to people and the distribution channels. There's more of them now. There's more ways to get your content seen. Mm-hmm. So I think the biggest hurdle for Texas is that the investors don't want to. There's more. Safer bets, like the oil and gas industry. There's the medical industry, the import-X industry, the electrical industry. Yeah. Like all those have really high incentives. So with billions of dollars of incentives, and when we have only $200 million of incentives, they're like, this is it's kind of still a gamble for them, because there's not. They know they're going to make their money back, right? There's been history from it, and Texas is just not really known for the production. Right. And that's what I love that we're trying to do, is make this a new hub for production. So we just need to let people know that there are new ways to distribute content. There's new streaming platforms. There's new ways to make money, and you just have to invest and own your content right now. Mm-hmm. So you need to be able to find your investor, own it, and then sell it to the distributor. We're not going to find in Netflix, and they're not going to just come and say, "Here's a project for you, Justin. Do this project."
Yes, that is how Netflix
even though I built
sounds.
the facility, they won't come. You have to build the facility and then create those things, and then once you can prove some of this, then they're going to start coming. Then they'll come. So we just need to prove that we can do that here in Houston, because a lot of my friends, they go to New York, and then we get phone calls, and they'll say, "Hey, we want to do a production shoot here," and they're like, "What kind of tools you've got?" And I start telling them, they're like, "Oh, you got it like that in Houston? I didn't even think you had that stuff in Houston." So we just need to showcase we have all the talent here, and it's not just my facility; it's the people here in Houston,
Yes,
right?
a lot of
We have so much raw talent here, from directors to people that are building things, that are artists, hair and makeup, set designers, and people that are making things. Like for these last couple of projects, just been blown away with some of the vendors that have been coming into this. And I said, I didn't even know you were here, and you're in my backyard, and I'm fighting for us.
Yes.
So I keep finding these gems all over Houston alone. So we're so close to being on the map, and people are going to stop saying, I didn't think about y'all for production. They're going to be like, Houston did it.
Right.
That's
You're the
right.
first one I thought of. And I love that too, because we're both actresses, and it's just like, no beef on going to Austin or Dallas or Louisiana, but it's just like, I want to go to work and have some fun, and then be able to go home.
Right.
Yeah.
And be with not just spend, a few days away. So I love that we have this, and I really hope we can start, bringing productions to you and letting people know about you, that you can handle the fucking cool shit.
We sure can.
You're creating FOMO.
And it doesn't even have to just come to me. It can come through here, and then let other people create it. So I don't even need to be doing all the creative. Like, I love to, but I'll fit where I fit.
Right.
So if somebody's got their idea and they want to shine, let them shine.
Yeah.
So let's create whatever here.
I love that you said you have to own it. Because we're talking about this relationship of success. And before you owned what became known as Captiv Studios, and before you had this beautiful space, I mean, we have to show our listeners what this looks like.
We have videos.
It's amazing what it's capable of. The sky's the limit, literally. Actually, no, you could change the sky.
Yeah, the sky's past the limit. We're past the sky.
You're past. Like, forget the ozone layer.
The
Look
galaxy
out,
is our
God.
limit.
But before that, before you owned it. And I think that's so important. You were playful because you believed in yourself, and you trusted the process. And that's so palpable. So I just want people to know that that's where it starts. Before you can own it, whatever it is, you have to own it from within.
I love that, Sheri.
Yes.
Well, thank you, Molly.
I love that.
It's my depends.
It depends. Well, thank you. I want people to find you. So tell us all your handles. Where can people reach out and find you?
You can find us captivcreative.com, Captiv Studios if you're interested in just renting the studio. You can find me on Justin Bowers 360 on YouTube, Instagram, and all the other platforms. And let's create some cool stuff.
Yes, let's.
Thank you, Justin.
Thanks for letting us in here.
Thank you.
Thank you for letting us in here. Are those security guards? For us?
Yeah, they're for you.
Okay, we have to get out. When you want me? No?
Okay.
Please escort these ladies out the building.
Be gentle. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Justin, for letting us record our podcast in your studio. Hey, that's a wrap. Remember, when everything's going wrong, it just means you're crafting a great story. Stay tuned for more episodes where we turn life's lemons into laughable tales. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and keep finding the best in the worst, because life's too ridiculous not to laugh at it.